Hey y'all, Patrick James, Cold Dead Hands, Black Coffee Perspectives, and now into the fray with
Jon, Double Tap Britain, Midnight Munchies, Food for Thought, Cold Dead Hands, and Into the Fray.
Now,
what are we going to do on the Into the Fray today?
what are we going to talk about? Well, guess what today is? Today is rant day. So we're going to do what we're best at doing. We're going to hit a couple of different topics. We're going to make them short and sweet if we can.
I know you've heard that before, right?
And we're going to start now. What about all this destroying of statues? Tearing them down, ripping them up, breaking them, painting them, doing all kinds of crazy ass shit to them.
You mean the temper tantrums?
The temper tantrums. Yes. That's what we're going to rant about. We're going to rant about the temper tantrums of tearing down statues. When's it going to be enough?
Well, you know, they just recently announced, I think in San Francisco, that they're going to rename some schools that were named after Jefferson, George Washington, you know, those racists.
Those slaveholders?
Yep.
Yep. Well, we got to take care of those founders. What about all the Civil War generals? Do they need to come down?
You know, and I realize that's a touchy subject, because you look at it, most of them went up in the 50s.
Yep.
During the, whole Jim Crow thing. And so there's a lot of history behind them, and most of it's bad.
Yep.
Whether it's the Civil War, whether it's Jim Crow, whether it's, our racist past. But you know what? That bad history is still our history.
Well, and they were funded privately. The majority of them, they were raised funds to support various causes, various reasons. Was it to prop up racism? Might have been.
Yeah.
Certainly could have been.
And I'm sure those who put them up, probably a lot of them did have those tendencies.
Yep. It's like Stars and Bars. Oh my gosh. The Stars and Bars. Bo Luke.
Now, are you talking about the Virginia battle flag, or are you talking about the Stars and Bars? Those are two different flags.
Are they?
Yes.
Explain.
Well, of course, the battle flag, the Virginia battle flag, is the infamous X-shaped. The Stars and Bars is like the Betsy Ross with the circle of stars, and it's got three stripes: red, white, red.
So you learned something here today as Jon explained the Stars and Bars and the Confederate battle flag, two different things.
Yep. The Stars and Bars was an actual Confederate flag.
So Luke Duke, hey, that's the one that everybody hates. Dukes of Hazzard, off the air. Can't run that flag on their car anymore.
And that flag was never an actual Confederate States of America flag. Now, it was briefly used in like the upper left corner of one of the variations of the Confederate flags, but that flag in and of itself was never a Confederate States of America flag. It was the Virginia battle flag.
Well, various and sundry groups that came out of the South used it. So,
yeah.
Dadgummit, you can't keep doing that. I mean, it's kind of like the Nazi swastika.
Oh, you mean the Indian symbols for hope?
Oh, the Indian symbols of hope, stolen by the Nazis
and misrepresented.
So, hey, out the window with that.
And that's the interesting thing about history. We look at certain symbols, whether it be a statue or a flag or a swastika, and we tie it to certain events.
Absolutely.
Yet, a lot of those symbols, like the swastika and the Hindu symbols, have completely different meanings for the same symbol.
Yep.
So, do you accept the history that's tied to the Nazis, or do you accept the history that's tied to the Hindus? Can you eliminate one without the other? I mean, if it's on a flag, is it bad? If it's on some Hindu writing it's okay.
Crusader cross.
Oh my God.
Oh, the Crusader cross.
You didn't go there, did you?
The Templar Knights. Conspiracy. That's horrible. Can't run that.
You know, because they slaughtered a lot of Muslims.
They did. So, that's a horrible thing. They were evil. So, yeah, let's throw the symbol out, even though the man was corrupt.
But correct me if I'm wrong, the Crusaders didn't even come about until the Muslims had already invaded all the way to, what was it, Spain?
Good Lord, killed, I can't remember. I'd have to think of my history lessons, but I know it was millions and millions of Christians.
So they had
and non-Christians.
They had invaded well into Europe, and finally the Crusaders
beat them down.
Pushed them all the way back to Israel.
Right. Retook Jerusalem.
But the bad guys are the Crusaders.
Yep. Yeah, they took the heat. Of course they took the heat. The church wasn't going to take the heat because the Crusaders, the Templars, they knew way too much. Now I should probably be grabbing my tinfoil Stetson on that because, of course, there are conspiracy theories that abound.
Oh, you mean like the Knights Templar had a bunch of ancient Christian artifacts like the Ark of the Covenant and things like that?
Yeah. The Holy Grail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I gotta love Monty Python. Listen, folks, the reality is there is history, good and bad. It's just the way it is.
And some people are offended by some eras in our history.
And they will be. They're going to continue to be pissed off. They're going to continue to complain. And it's all fine and good if people agree with you. But the moment they don't, the moment that somebody says, hey, you took that General Lee statue down and you changed the name of that Washington school or that Jefferson school, what about Martin Luther King Jr.? That boulevard needs to go. It's just around the corner. And you're asking the federal government to prop you up when they make a law to remove that kind of history and the statuary or the road names or the school names for people you don't like. It will come back and bite you square on the butt when they decide that a name you do like needs to go too. And it will happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are not big fans of President Obama. There's a few statues of him around, even schools named after him.
A few people that weren't fans of Obama? There's a few more than a few, I promise you. I'm going to tell you right now, when they come for something that you feel is important, but you set the precedent by complaining about things that really pissed you off.
Well, like my daddy used to say, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
This is a true statement. That is a very true statement. You know, when I hear the grumblings that the Statue of Liberty is going to have to come down because it represents something that makes somebody feel bad, yeah, you're going to piss off a lot of people. It's just the way it is.
And it's not just Civil War statues or Founding Fathers.
No.
Hey, there's people who find the American flag itself
offensive. They're burning it.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is why we tell you be careful for what you wish for, because if you get it, tomorrow somebody might stomp on yours and it'll be turned right back around on you.
Yep.
And I'm going to leave you on this rant section because we said we were going to try and keep them short today. So this is just a short little clip. One little quote. History repeats itself, but in such cunning disguise that we never detect the resemblance until the damage is done. That was by a journalist and an author, and from what I understand, quite liberal in his politics, Sidney J. Harris. Doesn't matter where he stood on the political spectrum or that Nixon deemed him a threat. it's true. It's very true.
And there's already signs of that happening now. There's a whole host of quote-unquote liberal authors and journalists who have come out against the hashtag cancel culture.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's a whole nother video. So
hashtag karma.
So we just wanted to bring you that short little rant, short, sweet, to the point.
Make you think.
Make you think. Maybe piss you off a little bit, maybe get you riled up. That's what we're intended to do, because these are perspectives brought to you by me, by Mr. Double Tap here, so you can think about it, because if you want peace,
prepare for war.
Later, guys.